Hi there, my name is Destiny and this is my making podcast where I talk about my projects for the month, primarily knitting. I do some other making crafts like sewing, but this one is going to be exclusively knits. So my name is Destiny. You can find me on Ravelry. I will have that information linked down below. I do also have an Instagram. I have a personal and a knitting Instagram. However, I'm not currently using social media, but I will link that down below just in case you want to follow to see some past uploads and pictures, whatever it is. And I apologize for how late this video is. I try to film at the beginning of every month so that it's a nice recap of the past few weeks. And I did film a podcast. I had it all edited and ready to upload, but I've just been having a lot of technical difficulties. We don't have Wi-Fi, and so uploading is really difficult. I need to just start prioritizing like going and sitting down at a coffee shop for like an hour or two to upload my YouTube videos, but it's hard to find the time. Anyways, I digress. My name is Destiny. I live in Arizona with my husband and my 3 kids. My 7-month-old is actually napping on the bed right next to me, so I'm trying to be a little bit quieter, a little bit more mellow, which could end up being nice for you because I tend to be a very fast-paced person. So I'll try to be more mindful to slow down so that I don't wake him up and I can get through this video. I'm going to just be covering my knits for the month of September, and I will not be showing you any of my October projects, even though we are like a week away from November. I'm really excited for October's podcast that I'll be uploading in November. I have been knitting so much this month. I have got so many fun projects finished already. I can't wait to talk about them. And I have a week to try to race through the rest of my works in progress. So I'm really excited for that one. I also purchased a few things that I'm going to be talking about, but I'm getting ahead of myself. We're just going to work on September's knits. So I have a stack right here, and I'll start from the bottom. So if you watched my last podcast, you'll know that I was working on a Ranunculus, and I was knitting my 3rd one, and it's going to be the first one I had made for myself. I was knitting it in white yarn. I have a bunch of undyed yarn that I purchased just to try it to save a little bit of money because I think it's a lot more cost effective to dye it yourself. And so I was knitting it in white yarn to then dye once it was finished. I was using Knitpicks Swish DK, and here it is. I have a lot to say about this, but I will just show you it. So I did knit the long sleeve version, and I did the I-cord bind off. I obviously modified it by knitting it in DK weight because it does call for fingering yarn. I also did not do the shaping on the sleeve. There's some extra details you can add to make it more of like a slanted fit, and I just knit it straight and then did an I-cord bind off. I knit the sleeves a lot longer than recommended as well, I believe. And I cropped it quite a bit. I did a traditional long tail cast on. It does call for it has an option for 2 special cast ons. I can't remember which ones they are at the moment. I usually do them. For the first 2 Ranunculuses I knit, I did the normal recommended cast ons. For this one, I just went with a long tail cast on. I don't do the twisted rib, and I shortened the ribbing at the bottom. I've talked about this before, but a 1x1 rib is my least favorite thing, and it really irritates my wrist. So if I can shorten it, I will. I'll try this on for you quickly, and I have a few things to say about it. So first, I love this sweater. I love the fit of this sweater. You can probably see what I'm gonna say about this. I love the fit of this sweater so much. It's so cute. Let me stand up. So I cropped it quite a bit just to make it really breastfeeding friendly, and I feel like the sleeves hit the perfect length. They're pretty stretchy, but they're about a little longer than bracelet length. No, maybe they're bracelet length, I don't know. But I love this sweater. So This is my first time dyeing a full garment. I usually just dye like skeins of yarn, and I had dyed the sweater to be this really pretty green color, I thought, and I showed my husband and I was like, what do you think? And he goes, well, it's like kind of a very Christmas green, which wasn't what I was going for. So then I dumped some black dye in, which was a mistake, and it kind of got a few spots on it. And it's totally fine because this green is actually the color that I want my sweater to be. So I am going to re-dye it and just add a lot more black to it and make it a more dark green, maybe even a black sweater, because I do love to wear black. But I love this sweater. I am very ready to knit another one already. But here is the thing. So, like I previously mentioned, I have a 7-month-old, and so when I wear this sweater, he just picks and picks at these slipped stitches. So I'm going to make it again and try to make some modifications and not include these, because I have fixed this at least 10 times and every time he pulls at it again and just yanks them out, which again I can fix, and then if I block it out or just get it a little bit wet, it looks completely normal. My cat is playing behind the camera, so if you hear a noise, that's what it is. I can fix it and make it look fine, but I just think that when I knit it again, I'm gonna omit that detail. Kat from Heather and Hops knit a top that was very Ranunculus-esque, and I think it was her wedding top, and all she did was the little flower detail, and she did multiple of them, and I love the way that looks. So I was thinking of trying to maybe modify a Ranunculus to be like that. I don't know, I haven't decided. That is my favorite detail in it, and I'm going to obviously be not doing any of these slip stitches, so we'll see. I do want to knit another one. I've already thought about it. I think I'm gonna knit one for my grandma and then another one for myself, because I just love the way it fits me. I feel like it's very flattering. So you have probably seen a million people talk about the Ranunculus, so I'm not going to go on too long. But here's my third one. I need to be making some modifications to it, fixing this, re-dyeing it, and then I'll be wearing it a whole bunch. I still wear it even though the dye job is a little off, because I think it looks really cute with overalls. So anyways, okay. My next sweater I talked about in my last video. I said that this was my September 1st cast on. I try to cast something on at the first of the month. I just think it's a really exciting way to get everything started and to plan about it the month before. So this was my September 1st cast on, and it was sweater number 15 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I think it turned out amazing. So here it is. This is an all over cabled sweater, and I knit this using Knitting for Olive merino in nougat brown. It is a fingering weight yarn, and I held it double. This sweater calls for a fingering weight and mohair, but I really didn't want this to be a fluffy sweater, so I just did with fingering held double. I knit a size medium in this because I like my sweaters to have quite a bit of positive ease, and I also knew I was going to crop it. I just really like that look. I'll throw it on for you. So I cast on, and I wasn't sure if I was going to knit a small or a medium because I knew it was going to relax quite a bit once it was blocked. So I cast on because the small and medium were the same for the beginning, and I was just knitting, and then I figured once I had a bit more of the garment going, I would decide if I was going to knit the small or medium. And the actual only modification was how many stitches you cast on under the arms when you join in the round to knit the body. And so I ended up going for a medium, and basically it's just 2 cables different between a small and a medium. And I think next time I'll knit a small just to maybe conserve a little more yarn, because I do plan on making this sweater again, but I just thought that was interesting. Oh, let me stand up. I used 9 balls of the Knitting for Olive merino, and I think it came out to be the perfect length. I had literally no yarn left. I knit pretty much till I ran out of yarn. I have just like the tiniest little ball, and I obviously couldn't have gotten another cable out of it, so I think it looks great. Let's see, did I make any modifications? It calls for twisted rib, which again I did not do. I just did my standard normal rib 1 by 1. The back has this beautiful shoulder detail, and this is made by increasing your cables. I do have 2 mistakes in this sweater. This cable on my sleeve is 1 row shorter than it's supposed to be. And then I do have a twisted cable on the back that's twisted the wrong way. I had twisted 2 the wrong way at the very beginning of my sweater, and I went back and I fixed one, and I thought it made it look really messy, so I opted not to fix the other because I felt like it was more noticeable when I fixed it than it was twisted the wrong way. But it turned out fine, and I can almost never find the cable twisted the wrong way. So I'm very happy with this sweater. I love it so much. I'm very, very proud of how it turned out. I can't believe I made this. I remember when people were testing this sweater on Instagram, I would see my favorite things knitwear share with them, and I would see people testing it and think, wow, that is stunning. I could never do that. Like, in my wildest knitting dreams, I would make that sweater, and I did it, and it was actually pretty easy. The cable increases were a little tricky to get the hang of, but once you figured it out, easy peasy lemon squeezy, we got it done. I think I might add some elastic to the neckline just so it's not sitting up as much, but it doesn't bother me that much, and I love this sweater so much. And like I said, I'm going to definitely be making another one. I really want to do it in a really rich green, and I think I will hold it with either mohair or sari, just because mohair and sari just looks so beautiful. I do want to try to have a nice cable sweater out of it. So that's one of my dreams, is to have like a rich, dark, emerald green sweater number 15. And it's such a fun knit. Oh my gosh, this was so fun. And it was fun to set little goals for myself. I was always wanting to knit get through 1 cable repeat a day. Obviously on the back took no time. I would get through multiple, but once I joined in the round, I could only get through about 1 cable repeat a day. And the sleeves were pretty fast. So typically with adult sweaters, I knit 1 sleeve a day. So it'll take me 2 days to get through both sleeves. I love knitting sleeves. I think they're so fun and fast. With my kid sweaters, I can usually get through both sleeves in 1 day, or a sleeve and a half. With this one, I think it took me 3 or 4 days to get through both sleeves, but it was because I was just not in the mood. I've been struggling a lot with my mental health, and so at night when the kids go to bed, there were some nights where I would just like lay there and scroll on my phone, which I don't like to do because it kind of sinks me into a pit. And if I can get up and be productive, I'm a lot happier and healthier. So if I had just actually like sit down and focused, I would have gotten these done faster. But like I said, I cast this on September 1st, and I did finish it on the last day of September. I wasn't monogamously knitting on this though. I was finishing my Ranunculus and another sweater, which I will show you in a second. But I think that is all I had to say about this sweater. I'm trying to think if I had any other suggestions. I do really want to knit vest number 8 because I actually really enjoyed working my cables flat as opposed to in the round. Like, I had more fun knitting it flat than I did when I joined it in the round. So I do want to make that. This blocked out so beautifully. I took a video before and after I blocked it so you could see how much it was going to bloom and grow, and it was so insane. I love blocking things. I think it's kind of scary and fun because you just truly don't know like the extent of it. Obviously if you knit a swatch you can see, but it's so different when you have like a full-size garment over a little swatch. So this was really fun, and I want to modify it to make one for my daughter. She loves this sweater, and every time I wear it she goes, oh, that's beautiful. So she's 2.5, and I was thinking if I knit it in fingering weight it would work great, but I would rather knit it in DK and just modify the numbers to make it work for her. So we'll see if that's in the future. Anyways, there it is, my sweater number 15. Again, I crop all my sweaters so they're more breastfeeding friendly. Here is my last finished object of September. So I was on Instagram at the beginning of September. I stopped using social media about halfway through, I think. So in the beginning of September, I was on Instagram, and I saw Sari Nordlund post a test knitting call. Now, I have been really wanting a striped sweater for months now. I think since like June or July I had been planning to make a striped sweater, and I just couldn't find a pattern that I wanted. And striped sweaters to me are really intimidating to like figure out the right numbers and how many stripes you want, and I don't know. I definitely overthink things, but I have been wanting a striped sweater, and she posted a test call for the Hanko Pullover, which was a striped sweater, and it was gorgeous and beautiful, and I was like, that is the exact striped sweater I want. So I applied for the test knit. Did not think I was going to get picked because I've only test knit one other thing before, and I got selected. So here it is. I'll just start holding it up. So this is a top down drop shoulder sweater with 2 colors of stripes, and it has some lovely increases along the shoulder. This took me about 2.5 weeks to knit, and again, I was working on 2 other projects in between, so I thought it was a fairly fast knit. It is a DK weight sweater, and it is knit on smaller needles. I think it calls for 3.5 millimeter needles. So it's pretty dense, which in hindsight is not necessarily what I like out of a sweater because I live in Arizona, so it doesn't get super cold. But it is a beautiful sweater. I love to look at this. It's just gorgeous, and I love the stripes I picked. If you watched my last podcast, I knit a stripy sock. Was it my last podcast or the one before? I think it was my last one. I knit a stripy sock in colors very similar to this, which is what inspired the sweater. So the yarn I used was Knitpicks palette. I had a bunch of it undyed. So I dyed the orange myself, and then the white and the blue I had purchased from them months and months ago. I have been trying to knit my sweaters completely out of stash yarn so that I'm not spending extra money. And yeah, this is how it turned out. I'll try it on for you because I have a few things I want to say. Hold on. This is the back. I've been holding it backwards. How embarrassing. This is supposed to be sewn down to make like a collar like that, which I haven't done yet. Because I think I'm going to do some collar surgery, which I'll get into. So here it is. It is another cropped sweater. It has a beautiful 2-color tubular bind off, which I think just looks so pretty. I love it. I did it for the sleeves. I did not do it for the bottom of the sweater. I just did a typical knit one, purl one, cast off. And here are the increases. So I knit a size 4, I believe, and so I have a lot of positive ease, as you can tell. Let me stand back a little bit. So in my opinion, the sleeves are a little slim in comparison to how baggy the sweater is. That was something that a lot of testers said, is that they couldn't pick up the amount of stitches they were supposed to for the sleeves. I definitely didn't get even close to that. So I feel like it kind of fits weird. I go in and out of stages of me loving this sweater and me feeling like it fits me weird, so I haven't quite decided what I'm going to be doing with it. Part of me wants to frog it and reknit it using bigger needles so it's not so dense, and also changing the collar because I don't like things this high on my neck. I feel like maybe if I could like just rip back, or not rip back, but like cut off the neckline and then maybe, I don't know, like knit it shorter, I would like it more. I just haven't really decided because I love the colors and I think the sweater is beautiful, but I don't think I'm gonna wear it. So I'm just not really sure. And then I would gift it to somebody, but the people I would gift it to are all allergic to wool, so they wouldn't wear it. But anyways, that was the Hanko pullover that I test knitted for Sari Nordlund. The pattern is already out. I think it's a really great clear pattern. It's the first one I've ever knit by her. One of my favorite details in the sweater is that there is a purl row down each side of the body. Wait, I'm gonna hold it upside down so that you can see. And it kind of makes a mock seam on both sides, and then it is also in the arm. And I loved this because it made my stripes look a lot more seamless, and I wasn't as noticeable as a jog because of that purl bump. So I thought that was genius, and I've been wanting to do that purl down the side on a sweater since like December, and I always forget because I'll like join in a round and then just start knitting, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I wanted to purl a row in it, and then it's too late at that point. So I was pretty excited to do that. I thought it was really fun, and I love the way the sweater looks. I just don't know if I love the way it fits me, which is a bit unfortunate, because if you have watched any of my videos or follow me on Instagram, you know that I sometimes I feel like I should just give up on knitting sweaters for myself because I don't like the way they look on me or the way they fit. But I feel like I knit 3 sweaters in September, and I love the way how 2 out of 3 of them look. So I feel like those are pretty good odds, and undecided on the Hanko sweater what I'm gonna do. I'll get back to you on that one. I'll let you know what I decide. So I think that's pretty much everything that I've knit for September. I didn't have any whips. I was exclusively working on these 3 sweaters. But October is going to be pretty crazy because I have been knitting a million things. And I told myself, I said, Destiny, you've got to stop knitting your kids' sweaters. And I did not follow my own advice, and I knit them a lot of things in the month of October, which I'll be showing in about a week. So thank you so much for watching. Like I said, you can find everything linked down below if you want to look at my project pages, and also if you want to know like the names of the patterns and everything, I'll write those down below as well. And just thank you for watching. This was kind of a short podcast. I talked about other stuff in the first original one I filmed, but honestly, can't remember what in the world they were, and if I do, I'll talk about it next week. So, thank you for watching. Hope you're having a good October. Bye.